Welcome in, Tamers. Today we're going fishing on the high seas, and it's going to be an interesting deck profile. I'm joined today by Mr. Tommy Tricks on the sticks. How you doing?
Hello, it's fish time.
Yeah, let's go fishing. So, probably not going to be as in-depth as my normal deck profiles, just because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but let's kick into it. So, we are looking at fish once again today. Mostly I believe it's Deep Savers, or is this pure fish?
So it's a little bit of both. It's like the Deep Savers top end, because Aegisdramon is like one of the best fish cards I've ever printed. But then, in my opinion, the actual like lower end Deep Saver cards are like very middling. So it's more of a mixture of like the aquatic toolbox, which then gets you to your good Deep Saver pieces, and then the top end is Deep Savers.
Sounds good, sounds good. Well, let's kick it off. We're running the Bullmon that, of course, they inherit when you play Digimon from one of your sources. You gain a memory. I guess that's pretty standard for blue decks these days.
It's one of the eggs that has just sort of like seen a real surge in popularity because of mostly because of the EX6 Huankun being like a generic player level 3 blue from your sources.
Yeah.
So obviously, Mirage played it and Galaxy also played it, but predominantly it is a fish Tama, because this deck is all about like source playing, and then because you DNA into Aegis, the Bullmon refreshes itself.
Nice.
So this over the Deep Saver Bullmon is probably more consistent, because in theory the Deep Saver Bullmon lets you swing early and give you the memory back that you would need to trigger all your Deep Saver effects, but you need to get to 0 memory to trigger that. Whereas this is just like Plesio triggers it, the Marine Bull inherit triggers it, Aegis triggers it. There's just so many ways to trigger the effect.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess, like you said, we're running not quite the Deep Savers bottom end, but I see we've got Sangomon here from the Liberator Sangomon as well.
Yeah, so Sangomon searches top 3 for an aquatic or sea animal and 1 Liberator card. The double hit isn't as often because there's Sango and Marine Bull, which are the Liberator tags. Now, you can run Yao in this list. Yao lets the mem set the same, lets you suspend to load a source, and the promo Yao, when you load a source, lets you evolve for 1 less into an aquatic Digimon. And I think the promo Yao probably sees play in like a different Deep Savers list, because the idea is there's the level 4 that you spit out from Plesiomon. If it's Lanamon or Promo Shalmon, you can load a source, then resolve Yao to evolve into Mega City, then trigger the DNA from Plesiomon effects, and that lets you dodge Medieval Gallantmon's all turns when a Digimon is played. Resolve its one Digivolving effect.
Yeah, because you'll be resolving all of your effects first, and
yeah,
all
exactly.
That good stuff.
So it's like kind of neat. The issue there is that you have to run a very specific package, and then setting that up can be a bit of a pain. Yeah. Whereas this list is just like very streamlined, get to your good pieces quick, get to Aegisdramon quickly and most efficiently. So Sangomon, also the inherit is like really good, and again, if you absorb it off of a Mega C inherit, it just prints you more memory in general. Yeah,
and I guess Crabmon here, moving on, is kind of just the jamming source that you want in a blue deck these days.
It's like, if in some instances you play it out of Aegis to give it blocker, but for the most part it is just there for jamming,
Yeah, I thought so. And we all know that blue decks definitely need jamming these days, 100%, 100%.
Yep.
Final level 3 we've got is Gomamon, 2 of this EX8 Gomamon.
Yeah,
What's
so
the thought
we still need to find the Deep Saver pieces, that's why we're running just at 2. In some instances he finds Plesio and a Deep Saver piece, so he finds Plesio and Aegis, or he finds Plesio and Mega Siegemon, but for the most part, he's just there just in case you need that extra search. Ideally, you don't hard cast him in some instances, but like, let's say he's your first rookie, and you go into Aegis, you can spit him out alongside Mega Siegemon, and you get like a little bit of free search there, and then you turn that Gomamon into like a level 4 or something.
Yeah, and I guess the inherit isn't too bad either, because once again, when attacking, you're just gaining hand advantage, and we all know that in card games, hand advantage is the best advantage.
Exactly, like your early pressure becomes so much better because you're just like cycling more cards than your opponent is in the early game in theory.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm going to skip across over to here, the Promo Aegisdramon, which we all know has had a massive price spike in the last year. So this might... It's still like 20 quid at the moment, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
So I think this might be one of the pieces that is like gatekeeping people from going hard into the deck 100%. But it's it's broken.
I will say it's very good. It's very good. I will say you can replace this with BT15 Seadra and not lose too much from it. The rush isn't actually super relevant. Like it will come up. You'll get like some instances where I kept turn and I have rush, and I'll just like swing with a free body. But for the most part, he's there for the battle protection because in theory it's better jamming, and then if you like put out a blocker with Crabmon and you turn it into like an unbeatable blocker, all of a sudden it's just like a little bit harder for your opponent to do damage to you. But that's like the general reason why he's in there. Again, the rush does come up if you like keep turn with a memory efficient play, then you give something rush. But also like the Marine Bull inherit lets you, in theory, turn the Digimon inherit live next turn.
Yeah.
Where you would be keeping turn regardless. That's why he's in there.
Okay. And then the other Aegisdramon is the EX8 Aegisdramon. When attacking, gain 1 memory. Kind of bog standard, but I guess it's just there for the jamming again.
It's there for the jamming, but also like the gain 1 memory on attack is insane. Like it prints you a memory for nothing. Like because in certain board states, you've loaded Deep Savers into security so that you're battle immune anyway.
Yep.
Or you played it off of like Aegis and you give it rush with the other Aegisdramon and you just swing it through a free memory. Like you don't super care if it lives or dies. If it makes it back, perfect, you turn it into level 5. But if it doesn't, then it's printed a memory for you. It's done its job. But yeah, jamming again is also there. There's like there's plenty of jamming sources in here to be fair, but like, in theory, he's like, if Crabmon goes missing, or Sheikmon goes missing, or the promo Aegisdramon goes missing, he's also there for jamming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I guess to add on to the Aegisdramon package, there is 3 Aegisdramon X Antibody from BT20.
Yes, so this card's actually really good. Bot decking a level 3 means any floodgates that your opponent tries to hit you with, you just get rid of before you full combo, and it's a 0-cost Evo over Aegisdramon.
Yes.
The Tamer Stun doesn't come up super often, but when it does come up, it's really, really strong. So like, imagine you're playing against Imperial, and they go like turn to like level 4 and back Daiken, and you do your promote. You go Seadra X, stun the Daiken, then like go into Aegisdramon. There's just literally nothing they can do because they can't like get any on plays from their searches, and then as they try and DNA, then they can't even like suspend to gain memory and source strip.
Yeah, which is it's huge for Imperial. Like that kind of stops their entire game plan.
It just like stops them for a turn. Yeah. And then you're just free to like go off in their face. So really good card, but like for the most part, he is there to just go like bot deck level 3.
Yeah.
Bot deck a floodgate.
Which is again, we've seen a massive increase in floodgates across the especially across the last year. Like it propelled Mirage even further because it just shut down everybody's game plans. With Blue having was it 3 out of the 4 different floodgates now? I think.
It's like with cost reduction, play cost reduction, and memory gain, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they have all 4. I don't even know what the 4th one would be. Oh, can't gain memory.
Well, it'd be play by effects, I think.
Yeah, that'd be it.
I don't think they have,
Yeah. But no, it's kind of just insane. But rounding out the 4s, we have this bird that I'm not even going to try and pronounce because I still can't pronounce it.
So there's like so many ways to, I say Sheik, like, like the Melee / Legend of Zelda Sheik. Sheikmon. To talk about this card, I also need to talk about Marine Bullmon in more detail. So I'm going to pair them together because this is the package that kind of ties a lot of the deck together. So Sheikmon reads: on play, draw 1. If you play it from sources, gain 1 memory. It's one of the best aquatic level 4s they've ever printed. Mm-hmm. And I know he's a bird, but he's a bird that identifies as a fish, and we have to respect that. But yeah, so like in theory, in Deep Savers, he kind of is a misfit because he can't be played off of Aegisdramon. Right. So once he's in the stack, in theory, he's kind of stuck there, and the only way to get him out of the stack is with Plesiomon. But Plesiomon only plays from its own sources, so you would, in theory, think it's a one and done draw 1, gain 1, which is still pretty good in its own right, but it's also like a little bit awkward to then use him again. He also has jamming, so that's like your other source of jamming. So like we have plenty of jamming sources. But what really makes Sheikmon pop is Marine Bullmon. Marine Bullmon reads, on play when digivolving, place 1 card with Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits under one of your Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. It doesn't have to be himself. So if you put like Marine Bull over a 4, and you have an Aegisdramon out, you can load under the Aegis instead. You don't have to load under Marine Bull.
Makes sense.
He also has Decode, so that if he's removed from the board by anyone's effect, but not by battle, he will play out a level 4 from his sources before leaving the battle area. So that also triggers Sheikmon. So like a Marine Bull Sheikmon stack is, in theory, when it's removed, gain 1 memory. And just as a neat little combo here, if the Mega Aegisdramon inherit would absorb a source, that one, yeah. The inherit triggers Decode because loading
because it's leaving
source
the field. It's
leaving the battle area. So if you like have Sheikmon, Marine Bull, and then you swing the Mega Aegisdramon to load the Marine Bull, you spit out the Sheikmon, gain a memory, draw 1, and then the Marine Bull inherit end of attack triggers.
That's insane.
And that's a nice little segue to why this card is insane. The end of attack on Marine Bullmon is you may play 1 level 4 or lower card with Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying its cost. This is how you play Sheikmon, again, under Aegisdramon. Because, you'll do your Aegisdramon combo, you'll swing, play out sources, bot deck a bunch of guys, and then at the end of your attack, you'll resolve Marine Bullmon's effect to play out another body, and that body ideally is Sheikmon. So in theory, if you're promoting your stack and you go Plesio, play out Sheikmon, gain 1 memory from Sheikmon, gain 1 memory from Bukamon, turn Sheikmon into Mega Aegisdramon, then do the DNA of Plesio's effects. You Aegis spit out a body, gain a memory, then end of attack, play out Sheikmon to gain another memory and draw 1. You've just printed like 4 memory from that combo. And it's just like so much more efficient.
Dear Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And then again, like you turn a Sheikmon into another Marine Bullmon, so that if your opponent tries to remove it, it's like a little bit of a trap, because if they do, then they're losing a memory for it.
Yeah, no, that's actually just insane. I didn't realize that the loop went that in depth, and that's kind of insane because Mega Aegisdramon, the inherit is the same as the when attacking, so it's literally just you can do this loop a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then
it's freaking insane.
Wow. But yeah, so you've already you've touched on Marine there. You've touched on Mega Aegisdramon kind of. Anything you want to add to Mega Aegisdramon?
Yeah, so Mega Aegisdramon, for me, I don't know how like Deep Saver players what's the word I'm looking for? Sequence their combos.
Yes.
But for me, this is the card I always play out off of Aegisdramon's effect, because the inherit is lovely. The inherit is like one of the best inherits that Blue has ever printed. But his on play being one of your Digimon unsuspends means, in theory, you can spit him out, unsuspend your Aegisdramon, and then you have a level 5 on the board, which is now live for a Metal Aegisdramon Ace. And then also you can turn that into Mega Aegisdramon X as like a easy cycle and a way to put the inherit live. The when attacking of Mega Aegisdramon is not something that comes up often. Like if you have 1 or more memory, a Digimon can't suspend until the end of their turn. It's a really good effect. But for me, I find I never really have an opportunity to use it. It's one of those where it's like, it's nice to have. Yeah. If it comes up, it stops a blocker from suspending. But for the most part, the MVP text of this card is the on-play, blessing, and the inherit,
Yeah.
And then I guess we'll segue that to Mega Aegisdramon X, which is like bot deck a level 4, then you have correct sources, you stun a Digimon, which
so kind of the same as the normal Aegisdramon X, but the Mega Aegisdramon stuns a Digimon as opposed to a Tamer, which feels a little bit worse in my opinion. It feels like it should have been the other way around. It
can vary. It like depends on. Belt decking level 4 is definitely like the MVP of that effect. Yes. But sometimes if the opponent's gone wide and you need like something to, or like if you don't have full combo and you want something to just like stay still for a turn, in that instance it's actually not too bad.
Yeah, I see the inherit as well as obviously attack target can't be changed. That's probably really helpful for you in the sense of people can't just chump block you.
Exactly, yeah. So like let's say Royal Knights is like trying to play defensive and they go like Ganku, Leopard play something, and then they like establish 3 blockers or something.
Yeah.
Just being able to play around that is really cool. And then, or like Magnamon, for example.
Yeah, because then you can do the loop of like spit out the Mega C or whatever, and then kind of just unsuspend and continue that loop multiple times or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, damn. Cool, so that's the 5s card. We covered them pretty easily. And the 6, we're quite a heavy side of a 6 as well. Well, not really, actually. Tell a lie. There's only 7.
The 7 6s and 3 7s, so there's like 10 megas in that sense.
Yeah.
But Plesiomon, this is a mandatory 4. If you play any less than 4, you can't play it in the deck. Like the only thing holding this card back is that it's Plesio, Saw, Deep Saver tagged, and not Aquatic tagged.
Right.
But in theory, you draw an amount of cards, and you have a lot of consistency pieces. That as long as you find one of them, you can play the game.
Yes.
So this card reads: play a level 4 or lower Digimon card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. It doesn't care about the tag, it doesn't care about the colour, which I don't think will ever be super relevant, but I guess it's more so for if you were playing a pure Deep Saver list and you need to play out the purple cards. But yeah, he doesn't care what the tag is, he just plays out a level 4 or lower Digimon card. So this lets you play out any of the 3s and 4s that you have in your sources. Ideally, you're playing Sheikmon.
Yep.
But 9 times out of 10, you're playing a level 4 to then turn into Mega Aegisdramon for the DNA, which is your turn effect. When your Digimon are played or Digivolve, if any of them have the Deep Saver traits, 2 of them may DNA into a Digimon card with the Deep Saver traits in its hand. Then, if it DNAs that way, it may attack. And this is like, it's like all the pendulum like DNA decks, like Nightmare Soldiers and Nature Spirits. All have that effect where they do that and then let you attack.
Cell also has it now as well.
It does, yes, you're right. So like, I kind of like that where they're going. You have to make your big play. You have to do your climb, but the reward for that is if you DNA that way, you get to attack anyway. You get like a little blitz attack.
Yeah, definitely.
There's like not too much to say about this card. The card's like really good. It's a card that holds the deck together. Because if you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to DNA into Aegisdramon. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. And you touched on it a little bit earlier, but Metal Ace, level 6 ace, one of the stronger aces at the moment, in my opinion. Just doesn't have a lot of space in like many other decks.
Yeah, so like the generic effects of it is like really cool. I think the issue with it at the moment is that the meta's not like super kind to it. So you could maybe justify like dropping it to 2 and then playing one of the new promo Pukumons, which is like on play source strip 2 from the top of all Digimon sources. Yes. Then delete one of your Digimon, their Digimon with no Digivolution cards. And like the theory there is you play it whilst Deep Saver is active, so you play it for 7. Source Strip 2, then trigger Plesio DNA to go into Aegis, spit out the Puku again to then Source Strip another 2. So you sort of like Source Strip 4 and potentially delete 2 Digimon.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And it's like native of blocker. But Metal Aegisdramon Ace is, again, I've had like people and ah about this card. I really like it. I think Digivolve 1 Bot Decker 7 play cost is like really versatile in terms of like removal. Like it gets rid of whatever top end is being annoying, and then it bot decks most level 5s. The level 5s it doesn't bot deck is where it gets it sort of falls off a little bit, because you kind of have to accept that if you Digivolve and not bot deck the attacking body because you can't, then you kind of just have to accept that it is a damage, and you have to hope it dies in security and not turn into another level 6 that then sort of ruins your day.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's the threat of this card is that it being in your hand. Like if your opponent's staring down Aegisdramon, Mega Aegisdramon, that's a really hard board to out in general. And then tell them, right, attack this board is your only way out. And then they attack and they go, you've been ace, unlucky.
You got me there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's caught me off guard multiple times, I'll tell you that much.
It's definitely a card that is more threatening in hand than it is on board, but whilst it's on board, it's not the worst. So all turns is, whilst you have 1 or more memory, none of your opponent's Digimon can suspend. So once again, if your opponent has blockers, well, they can't block anymore because they can't suspend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same goes for Blitz as well. It just turns off Blitz. So like
Turns off Blitz,
Gallantmon, for example. Yeah, turns off. Oh yeah, turns off Vortex.
So it's very good against those sort of decks. The only issue, like, it doesn't even work too much against Gallantmon because of the immunity it's usually getting. So like, unfortunately, it doesn't solve that matchup. Similar with Zephyr, if it turns into the starter deck that makes stuff immune. Yeah, if it becomes immune, then it just swings anyway. But like, it'll catch some decks off guard. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And let's kind of get into it where we've spoken about it. It's the big boy, the big fish ship looking thing.
I love this guy. He's so cool.
Why have we got Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the game? What's going on here?
So yeah, this is the end goal that you're looking for here. Is he's the DNA of Plesiomon plus a level 5 with Siegemon in name. Which, just as a little segue, the Mega Siegemon X is also a valid DNA target for this because he is Mega Siegemon level 5 in name.
Yes.
But the one you're usually DNAing with is the EX8 Mega Siegemon.
This one.
Yeah, because that's Deep Saver tag, which triggers Plesiomon, so you can DNA when the memory gauge is packed, which you can't do with Mega Siegemon X.
Yep.
He's also blue-purple level 6, black-yellow level 6. So Plesiomon plus the Ace, or Pukumon, or soon-to-be Regulicusmon,
yep.
Marine Angemon, if you
really want
like
to
really want to play that. They also DNA with into the Aegisdramon.
Yep.
So that's its conditions. It's when Digivolving effect is return up to 14 play costs total worth of opponent's Digimon, which is really cool. So
yep.
Basically most level 6s and some level 7s, I think. And then if you DNA Digivolve, play out 12 Deep Saver's play cost worth of Digimon. So again, this is where it's like, because we're not running too many Deep Saver pieces, 9 times out of 10 you're only really playing out the Mega Siegemon.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll play out a level 4 Siegemon, you might play a Crabmon or a Gomamon. Yeah. Or like if your stack is really bad and you have like Marine Bull and Mega CX in your stack, then you might play out the Plesiomon and turn that into something, or like Slam a level 6A, sorry, and turn that into a second Aegis, for example.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a really good effect. The MVP of this effect is the all turns. Now, I need this video to like go on record. I need this to be like played, broadcast worldwide, essentially, because I've had to explain this to so many people, and it's insane. While you have 1 or more memory, none of your Deep Saver trait Digimon are affected by your opponent's Digimon effects. While you have 1 or less memory, none of your opponent's Digimon effects can activate on plays. There is no sweet spot where you can dodge both effects. I'm not having this. So if I'm at 0 memory, I'm okay. No. If it's 1 or more, I'm immune. If it's 1 or less, you get no on plays. There is no sweet spot for you. There is a sweet spot for me. If the memory gauge is at 1, you get nothing.
Oh yeah. I think the biggest problem with that wording there is that it's so unreal to be like, yeah, there's no sweet spot at all.
Yeah, so like,
and that's why people are like, yeah, okay, cool.
I can play around this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you really can't. It's. I think people got conditioned by Gallantmon, where it's like, oh, so if the memory gauge is past here, it's immune, right? And it's like, yeah, that would make sense. Unfortunately, this is a good card.
Yep.
So if you're a Megazoo deck or a Crosshard deck, and you're thinking, how do I play around this? The answer is you pick up your cards, you also scoop, put in O2 on Bandai app, and you go to the next round.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's good. This like Aegisdramon is like just one of the most funniest cards that they've ever printed for Fish. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
The old Aegisdramon was like a cool boss monster, but like once it did its thing, it was like just kind of there. Yeah. So
it just doesn't even compare.
The floodgate, they've emulated the same like effects of the cards. Like when Digivolving plays something out, then when opponent's turn is when they.
I think Discord died for a second.
It out, and like that combo was really cool, and it was really good into like early Imperial Dramon. But this is just blows out the new Aegisdramon just blows out the wall.
Oh,
so it's just like constant floodgate is insane, and then like bot decking up to 14 play cost on Evolve is just like, wow, that they really looked at Aegisdramon all and gone, man, guys, we're sorry, we'll do better. Also, Aquatagged. So you can search it off your Aqua searches, whereas the old one was not Aquatagged.
Yep, that's just insane. It makes no sense to me that there is no sweet spot, and it is just unreal. I'm trying to remember how. I'm trying to remember how Harry put it. Is like read the card, then reread the card because you definitely didn't read it right the first time, and it's just like it's so true.
Cool ass card.
Very
it's just a big boat. Who doesn't love a big boat?
It's a fish boat. It's weird.
Fish boat.
We'll skim through these quick options. So we've got 4 trainings. We all know what training does. Top 2, reduce your evolution next turn. Memory boost, search top 4, pull a blue Digimon. Next turn, gain 2 memory. Scramble, evolve for 3 less, for a cost of 2. Then delay if your opponent has a Digimon. Return a blue Digimon to the top of the deck. If you don't have a Digimon, play a Digimon with 2k or less, yada yada yada. But the kicker here is the new, well, I say newish, EX8 Deep Savers option. While you have no face-up security cards, you may ignore this colour's requirements. Makes sense, but you're playing a blue deck anyway, so it also doesn't make sense. But this is a security locator all turns, so while it's in security face up, while you have 1 or more memory, none of your Deep Saver or trait Digimon can be deleted in battle. And of course, the main effect to even get this into security is add the bottom card of your security, then place this as the bottom face up. It's no different to the Aegisdramon, where it's like, cool, you're just going to swing all your bodies, they're not going to die.
Like, what if you had jamming, but then also what if you had better jamming? What if all of your battles didn't matter?
Jamming to Water Boogaloo.
Water Boogaloo. Yeah, Deep Savers is just like really, really good card. It kind of like in the the Raw. Like, I'll talk about the Raw Knights matchup in this for this card. Like the Raw Knights matchup is in theory you get your Aegisdramon out and they lose access to most of their cards, but they have some ways of outing your board, and one of those ways is Omni-X just like swinging into your Aegis. This card then decides, actually, you're not going to swing into my Aegisdramon because I'm Battle Effects immune. So it's just solidifying your board, and you only realistically need to see like 1 every game. Even if you don't see it, it's not the end of the world. It's one of those that's like just nice to have. But also, like, the security effect playing out a level 5 Deep Saver from your hand means you can, in theory, play out Mega Siegmon, turn that into an ace target, and all of a sudden, their lethal line is now in jeopardy because you better not have the ace or you just lose the game on the spot. It also can play out Crabmon, and Crabmon could turn himself into a blocker, and that can save you a damage. Yeah,
I think it's kind of just insane that all of these... what are they called, realms or whatever? Yeah, the field spells set themselves up to have these absolutely, in this case, cracked security effects as well. So like, it's weird that face-up security cards still get the security effect as well, which makes sense. But the fact that it plays at a level 5 or lower for a 2 cost and it sets itself up.
It feels like a bit much, yeah. Like all this on top of that, and then just in case, like, you want to out this field option. You better not swing into it, because I'm getting value off of that as well.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense to me why it's a level 5. A level 4, understandable. Because that way...
Level 5 is insane.
Yeah, a level 5 is a bit too much. But that's pretty much the deck here. Fish!
Yeah.
Like, and any other footnotes, keynotes?
I'll mention, just because we mentioned all the consistency pieces, there is a lack of tamers in this deck. I think tamers, you can run so like I mentioned, like the promo and memory setter Yao. You could also run Davis, and that would allow you to, like, put in a medieval Gallantmon if you really wanted to, because then you search for a blue and a green.
Yep.
Similarly, you could play, like, Wisteria Memory Boost if you wanted to play medieval Gallantmon in this list. But the reason, like, there's no tamers in here is that, realistically, you want to resolve your combo once, and that should be enough to win you most games. So the boost and trainings... just sort of like set you up for your main combo turn, and then you're on 8 rookies, but realistically the 8 consistency searches are also rookies in theory, and you're never really promoting on a rookie and like 1 training. So if you don't find a rookie in your opening hand, but you find like 2 or 3 consistency pieces, that's sometimes fine. You're making a concession here for less overall like consistency for a higher ceiling, but I think the higher ceiling is more than justified because of how how good the deck functions with some of the Marine Bull Sheik package is really good. Getting into Aegis is like such a game ender for some decks.
Yep.
You can contest early board with Seadra X and Mega Seadramon X. Like, I think the ratios for context as well. This is a list that it's like 95% the same as a list that won an Evo Cup in China, like a 28-player Evo Cup. And it was like semi-recently. So there's some justification to this list, and I've been playing it at locals. I've been seeing good success of it. Granted, it's only locals, so results can be skewed in that regard.
But you're playing at the best UK local.
Well, you know. But I also, I did take a game of Levia, so...
that's pretty solid.
It's pretty good. So if you're a Deep Savers enjoyer or just a fish enjoyer, and you're looking for a fish deck that's like... I guess it's really cool to resolve, but I feel like it's a struggle to get there. Try this list, honestly. Give it a try. Especially try the Marine Bull Sheik package. I think it's one of the coolest packages in Fish at the moment. It just gives you so much versatility and memory efficiency that it just makes the deck feel so much better to play. And yeah, just like, it's Fish. It's cool, It's not Fish and then Gallant X top end. It's Fish and Boat top end, which is just like infinitely cooler.
Far better. You need the boat to be able to fish, let's be honest.
Exactly. You can't just go into open waters with a shield. That's insane. But yeah, that's all I had to say on the matter. And thank you for letting me yap about Fish for however many minutes we've been yapping for.
Not a problem. It has been 31 minutes. So much for me.
Yeah.
So much for it being under 30 minutes, eh? But either way, no. Thanks for stopping by. Gone fishing.